Welcome to the Prophecy Clever. Topic today is we have a new dream that says that America is going to be invaded. And sad to say, but I could show you another one and really two other ones that sound very similar to this. Again, in the mouth of two or three witnesses, let a thing be established. So this email came to me 6/15 of 2023. This is from a close personal friend. She's somewhat of known to be very close to God. She is not known to embellish or lie. She loves and fears God. The other day, God brought this back to me as it was posted months back. I felt led to forward it to you. This comes to us from Jessica Smith. She says, the dream started with me and my house and my family. We heard sounds of war outside our door, bombs, chaos, earth shakings. We turned on the TV news. It was chaos. The reporters were going crazy, saying, America's been invaded. America's been invaded. They all exclaimed wildly. They showed videos of streets filled with thousands of Arabs cheering and waving the Iranian flag, celebrating the invasion of America. Now, I can go to, I believe it's Isaiah 13:10 that says, and I will strip the kings of the Medes against you. Now, the Medes is actually Iraq, but it may very well be talking about Iran too. And of course, either one of them would be happy to invade and to attack us. Let's go on though. The TV went blank. There was only fuzz. A moment later, it came back on, but it was only running old black and white comedy shows. We flicked through every channel, all old black and white comedy shows. I knew exactly what had happened. I knew this was deliberate. They did not want us watching the news. Shortly, Asian soldiers were pounding at our door. I opened for fear they were going to break it down. Two Asian soldiers stood at my door, one holding papers for us to sign. They spoke harsh, accented English. They were rude, hurried, and stern. They demanded that every person in our house sign the papers pledging our allegiance to the new North Korean government in America, while renouncing our American government. They explained that America had been invaded and taken over by China and North Korea. I told them I would discuss it with my family. I was only trying to put them off. They seemed more diplomatic than murderous. I shut the door on them, not knowing if they would just break it down. I quickly showed my family the papers. We decided that we would not sign the papers if they required us to renounce Jesus, but we would face death before renouncing Christ. But if the papers did not require us to renounce Jesus, we would sign in order to stay alive, as we are not diehard patriots. We are diehard kingdom Christians. I will not hand my children over to be martyrs for America, but only for Jesus. We all agreed this was the right thing to do. We didn't even finish reading the papers before our door was busted down by different North Korean soldiers with guns. They charged into our house with guns and were yelling in their own language. We were all allowed to grab whatever we could on our bodies, and then we were kicked out of our house, forced to give up our home, property, and all belongings to these soldiers. We were all violently pushed out of our home into the winter snow to survive on our own. There was no more American dollar. There was no more buying and selling in America. For the American citizen, there was only survival. America was reduced to a war-torn realm where every scenario was survival of the fittest. Buildings were crumbled from bombs. Houses were destroyed. America had become a wilderness, and the law seemed to be in our own hands. We slept with one eye opened. It was harsh winter. We wandered around America carrying our kids on our backs. It was always too dangerous to stay in one place too long. People who did were inevitably caught and taken captive. We were forced to survive any way we could. The whole time we were being hunted by Chinese soldiers, and we knew it. We had to remain hidden as much as possible. It was a very bad thing to get caught by these Chinese soldiers. Everyone knew it. Now, again, I could read another dream from Dana Coverstone. Sounds almost exactly like this. Some of you recall it, where they had to run into a cornfield and cover up with a blanket, and then they had to sneak by, and they had all kinds of electronic equipment to be able to detect heat to find the people. Let's go on now. There were scattered clusters of united Christians all over the country surviving together, sharing each other's resources. We stayed the night in whatever war-torn shelter we could find, and we'd move on the next morning. Sometimes we would find a cluster of Christians, and they would give us some of their food. I saw clusters of survivors trading and bartering their things. Again, Dana Coverstone had one talking about that. There were no stores to go shopping. Byron Searle also had one where you couldn't go shopping. The grocery stores were all emptied. I saw groups of Americans who were forming ragged militias and collaborating with each other's small groups, and they were trying to unite to fight against invading armies, no matter who they were. I saw Chinese soldiers capturing Americans who were surviving off the land in war-torn, destroyed cities. They seized all valuables on their bodies. I saw the Chinese soldiers raiding banks and confiscating lock boxes and whatever physical wealth they could find, except the worthless dollar. My tired family and I wandered to this broken-down, war-torn bank. The ceiling was completely blown off, but there were nice walls that served as good shelter. There were clusters of different groups of American survivalists there bartering. Again, Coverstone saw that too. Bartering, and a few militias exchanging secret news and plans. The bank still had their vaults intact with valuables, like gold and such locked in them. This little colony immediately received us and fed us. These guys weren't passing through, but had encamped there a while, which is why the soldiers found us. We were only going to stay the night and move on, but before the night, the Chinese soldiers located that place. A few small groups of land soldiers, whose sole job was to hunt down Americans surviving off the land, had found a place. My family and I tried to run, but they were overtaken and captured. They bound us and led us away. My dream then switched. I was no longer in the scenario, but God was speaking to me. He showed me a map of the United States of America in great detail. He showed me how and where we were invaded. He showed me that President Obama had left us unprotected in specific places and in specific ways, which is where we were invaded. I also saw that the foreign invaders found and seized Obama and executed him. He was not expecting execution. I woke up in a cold sweat and shaking. It took a long time to recover from this prophetic nightmare. Now, I can also tell you that I have many other dreams and visions. One is coming to mind from Michael Boldea, where bombs had hit, but because they had been praying, the bombs went right past them, left char on the buildings around them, but didn't touch them. All of this is really saying, my brothers and sisters, that trouble is heading our way. And if we aren't close enough to Jesus, we're going to regret it. If we've not asked Jesus to forgive our sins, we're going to regret it. If we haven't prepared, we're going to regret it. So may I say, first of all, yes, I'd recommend that you get signed up for the School of the Watchmen, which is coming up September 15 to 16. I also strongly recommend you go to josephkitchen.com, get yourself some food, long-term storage food. Go to cornerstoneassetmetals.com. As you heard, they're going to be bartering. And one of the best things to be able to barter with is gold and silver and also food. Get yourself prepared. I don't think we have too long. I don't think it's coming this year. I don't think it's coming next year. But I do think that we're not too many years away from these kind of things affecting us. I am having another Level 2. Level 2 School of the Watchmen's Conference, and I'm calling this a teacher's course. It's going to be September 15 and 16. You can go to prophecyclub.com, and it'll tell you all of the details about it. And it gives you all of the requirements. I'll let you read that online. However, the big question is, you're going to be saying, well, what's the difference between Level 1 and Level 2? Well, lots. Level 1 was primarily reading through most of the book of Revelation and teaching it. That's not be Level 2. Yes, we will do some reading, But this one is designed to make you a teacher of Bible prophecy, which, by the way, our office wants to know if you went through level 1 and if you have taught or have been invited to teach from the book of Revelation and you went through level 1, send me an email. I'd like to know that. I know there's been at least one. I think there's 2, maybe more. Anyway, I'd like to know. So level 2 is to teach you to the point to where you can be qualified to actually teach the book of Revelation. Now, I can tell you right up front, we're going to have a level 3, God willing. And in that one, I'm going to require people to memorize the book of Revelation to come to level 3. And so there's going to be 1 year's difference between level 2 and level 3. It took me a year to memorize it, so I figure it'll take you a year to memorize it. Some of you may even faster. So go to prophecyclub.com and it'll give you all the details, tells you all about some of the difficult questions and things like that we're going to cover in level 2. Level 2 is going to get you real close to being a qualified teacher of Revelation. But by the time you get through level 3, having memorized the book, pastor's going to listen to you. And that's where we're going with this. Also, I'd recommend you go and get yourself a Berkey water filter. And yes, we do have Berkeys all in stock now. Also, we have potassium iodate pills, which are what you take inside of once a radioactive unit has happened in your area. As far as Berkey water filters, this is one thing you want to be sure to do is get some extra filters. This is the minimum most people will get is this one right here. I get the Crown Berkey right here. This is the one I have, this one I use. And I have about 8 extra filters with me too, because if you're using clean water, they'll last a year or 2. But if you're using rainwater or muddy water, then they clog up a whole lot faster. So you want to have some extra filters. Let's talk about Joseph's Kitchen. I actually cooked this loaf of bread you're seeing here. Takes me about 10 minutes to put the ingredients together, put it into a bread machine, push a button, 2 hours, 20 minutes later, I get a loaf of bread out like that. Now, if you cut that loaf of bread that weighs about 3 pounds, the loaves you get in the store have most of the good stuff removed. The loaves you get in the store are about 1 pound. That's 3 pounds because it's got the good stuff still in it. Cut that into 14 slices, and if I eat a slice in the morning and the afternoon, I'm satisfied. So on that basis, one loaf can sustain, I didn't say it's everything we want, can sustain one person for a week. Based upon that, it'll get you excellent nutrition. It tastes good, long storage life, 10 minutes to combine the ingredients, 2 hours, 20 minutes to make it. Other wheat that you order arrives in paper bags, which means bugs, rice, humidity can get a hold of it and ruin it. But at Joseph's Kitchen, they send it out in 100 mil thick buckets. Gives you long shelf life. It's stackable. There's some nitrogen infuses that hopefully gives it much longer shelf life, kills bugs and things like that. Easily resealable, keep in a climate-controlled area. And they have it in stock. This is a picture, an actual picture of part of the warehouse. Here's another picture of these. Actually, each one of those boxes holds 2,500 pounds of wheat. And I think they've got 54 of those boxes, a bunch of them. So Joseph's Kitchen can ship it to you right now. You go to most of these places, they say out of stock. So here's what you want to do. Everybody needs to get a machine package. These are the things that you need to grind the wheat berries. Put them into a grinder. 30 seconds later, you have flour. You put that into the bread machine along with 6 other ingredients. Push a button. 2 hours, 20 minutes later, you have a nice hot loaf of whole wheat bread. Then you have to decide how much food you want. You want food 2 people 1 year, 4 people 1 year, 6 people 1 year. And if you want to make certain you have it when the electricity goes down, you can also get yourself a solar generator, all at josephskitchen.com. josephskitchen.com. Terry Saka, Cornerstone, assetmetals.com. So why should people go online or call you today?
Seymour Hersh, an amazing investigative journalist, laid out the case that the United States is the one that blew up the Nord Stream pipelines, hurting our very own allies. That is a nation that is desperate because their currency is on the verge of losing reserve status. That's not good for a United States dollar and why we better be protected.
Terry Saka, Cornerstone, assetmetals.com. Give him a call or go online today. Cornerstone, assetmetals.com. Also, I want to recommend you get my Watchmen package. I haven't talked about this in a while, but I got them right here. In this Watchman's package, you get 2 of these 2 foot by 3 foot big charts. Okay, that's one chart. Let me show you the other chart here. And here's the other chart. So these great big charts, 2 foot by 3 foot charts, and they are they're vinyl. They are very nice. Put them up on the wall, 2 foot by 3 foot, and I've got them right here. Of course, it's just 8.5 by 14 charts, so I can refer to them. But if I had a wall a little closer to me, I'd put these up here. Also, you get my handwritten book of Revelation. This is where I hand wrote out the book of Revelation all the way through it, all of the scriptures, and I memorized it. Now, all of this has all of my notes in it. Here, let me pick a page that has some notes. If you see out in the margin there, it has notes. What I think these scriptures are talking about. And then, last year, I did a School of the Watchmen. And it was like 18 hours, I think it was. It's on 5 DVDs. We're putting all that together with 5 copies of my very powerful book, Secret Door to Understand Bible Prophecy. It's valued at $355 for a gift of $200. You get both charts. You get the 5 discs. You get my book and my book. My book and my book. All for a gift of $200. Very, very good deal. Also, I recommend you go to prophecyclub.com and get all 5 of my books. And I didn't write this one, but I did organize it. You get How Pre-Trib 1, Daniel, Secret Door to Understand Bible Prophecy, Miss the Mark, and you get 1 set of each of them, which is actually 40 books for a gift of $100 at prophecyclub.com. And if you don't have this right here on your car, you'll want to get it. This is an EMP Shield device. This one goes on a car. All you have to do, it's simple. They have videos show you, but you just put the black wire on the black side of your battery. The green wire attaches to the body of the car, and the red wire attaches to the red side of the battery. And then the back peels off. You don't even have to put any holes in your car. Back peels off. You stick it someplace under your hood. Takes about 10 minutes for us people that are not mechanically inclined. Probably people mechanically inclined more like 5 minutes to put it on, and then you're good to go. If you'll go to empshield.com, put in the promo code PROPHECY, you get a $50 discount for everything that you order there. Good deal.